quote of the day: for those of us lost in pain, we have to be gladiators. The legendary Iceman Wim Hof. For those of us lost in pain, we have to be gladiators. When I read that quote, I read it on his Instagram, I was so touched by it. I wrote it down and I put it on my wall, and it was there for a long time until it became engraved in my memory. Because it rings so true to me, it rings so true to Wim Hof. That's why he said it, because he's lost his wife. She committed suicide. It was like maybe 30 years ago or so. She committed suicide, and that really drove him to a deep desire in him to understand the human condition, why she did that, how we can prevent depression, anxiety, and just, make everybody happy, strong, and healthy. Like Wim Hof always says, happiness, strength, health. And it drove him to be a gladiator, to do the crazy feats of ice and World Guinness records. He's got over 20 World Guinness records, ice feats. It drove him to be a gladiator, this mission, this desire in him to alleviate his pain and alleviate the pain. The pain he suffered because of her loss is also her pain. I mean, she committed suicide. Clearly, she was experiencing a lot of pain. And he's experienced a lot of pain as a result of that. So he's gone on to become a gladiator in his life. And still is. The guy is 59. He's preaching his breathing technique and ice techniques, and incredible. He's really got he's got a natural cure to anything, really. Preventive, right? The breathing technique, the Wim Hof breathing method, which I'll make another video on, but just look it up. And I kind of, for me, also rings true, right? Like I consider myself a gladiator. I'm sort of a warrior in this world, just doing my thing, trying to inspire people, increasing this positive vibe, this brave kind of vibe, right? But I was also like, I've experienced a lot of pain in my childhood. I've experienced a lot of physical abuse, domestic and external. I tell you guys many times how I used to be bullied a lot, and I got into so many fights. I got into so many fights as a kid. So I grew up around violence, right? I grew up around violence, not in the ghetto type of way, not in like the ghetto stuff you hear about in like the hood and stuff. Not like the guns, not guns and drugs and stuff like that, but a lot of physical violence, right? And domestically as well. Like in my house, there was a lot of that, a lot of domestic violence. So I grew up around a lot of negativity. And the environment that I grew up in was just a negative, toxic environment. That has fucked me up for a long time. But it also drove that warrior side of me, that gladiator side of me, to say, hey, like, I don't want to experience this pain anymore. I don't want to experience this negativity anymore. And I don't want people to experience that anymore, because I realize a lot of people in the world are experiencing that. They're experiencing domestic violence in their home. They're experiencing, psychological distress all the time in their home, outside, right? And, like, I grew up in a rough environment. I grew up in an environment where, like, if you went to school, right? If you went to school, the first day you had to fucking fight. Because if you don't, no one's gonna respect you, and you're gonna keep getting shot on. So you had to fight. Every time and I switched a lot of schools. Every time I switched school, growing up, first day I had to fight. I had to fight. There was no fucking way around it. My first memory of grade 1. This is my first memory, I swear to God. And I was the shortest kid, always, the smallest kid, so I got picked on a lot. Easiest target to pick on, right? I remember these two grade 2 kids. They came up to me and they started bullying me. I grabbed them both from their neck and I said, "Get the fuck away from me." And they did. They never came to me again. And since then, I got in a lot of fights. I lost some, I won some. That doesn't fucking matter. But what matters is I've seen a lot of pain. I've experienced it myself. Like I've been jumped by 5 guys before. Like I've been jumped by 5 guys. I've been attacked by a knife. And I've experienced what it's like to feel. And again, my home, the domestic violence in my home didn't make it any better. And the negativity and the brainwashing that I've gone through, the conservative environment that I grew up in, and the sexual repression. I mean, a lot of issues were there. Thank God we've got past them all, and I've sort of since then absolutely love my family, and I've grown to love my background, you know. So I don't want to be a whiny little bitch here. I think everything happens for a reason, and I think I consciously, my soul, chose that environment, chose that circumstance. Anyway, what I want to say is, if you're lost in pain, you're a gladiator, and you will have to be for the rest of your life. For those of us lost in pain, maybe no longer the pain of you, but you just feel the pain of society. Like right now, I find myself sometimes crying because I feel the pain of society. I feel the pain of people in society. I feel their pain. I feel their struggle. I feel their suffering. And I think that's just something that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. It's part of my story now. But this is why I have to be a gladiator. This is why I have to keep waking up, making these videos. I have to keep pushing my body to new limits. I have to keep pushing my soul, myself, and try to inspire as much of you guys as possible. For those of us lost in pain, we have to be gladiators. Wim Hof, the legendary Iceman Wim Hof. Check out my free book, 5 Powerful Habits to Dominate Life in All Areas. Will help you with this tremendously, tremendously. It's 22 pages, easy read, quick read. Other than that, I love you guys, love every single one of you. But don't forget to subscribe, or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.